There has been a lot of talk on fighter pay lately, right? And the number that gets thrown out is 16 to 18% of revenue around there. I guess, can you talk about...
Is that right?
Is that accurate?
None of your business. It's none of your business.
Just working. I work like damn near 50 hours a week. You know what I mean? I'm a server. I'm not complaining about it. You know, it's the life I chose. Like, that's the reason why I serve anyway, so I can have some flexibility. But just like the worst days are Fridays. I fucking work Friday night, get off at like 3, go to bed at like 4:30, and then I have to wake up at 10 or 9, get to the gym by 10, and fucking the Saturdays are our hard days. It's like we do rounds, so I'm sitting there getting beat up for like 25 minutes when I'm dog shit tired.
It's none of your business how much it is.
Let's get one thing straight, man. The UFC is not a professional sports league. The NBA is a league. The NFL is a league. Both of those have a union. Both of those split the money with the people who actually bleed for it. The UFC does not. What you're watching every single Saturday night inside that sterile, overlit warehouse is not a league. That shit is a meat grinder. The Athletic Commission just signs the paperwork on the way out. TKO Group Holdings is about to clear $5.5 billion this year. $5.7 billion. You know what percentage of that the fighters actually see? 16 to 18%. Think about this shit, man. And now get this. The WNBA, a league that generated somewhere between $200 and $300 million total last year, just raised its minimum from $60,000 to $270,000 in a single off-season. The UFC made $1.5 billion that same year. 5 times what the WNBA made, maybe more. And the UFC starter contract is still $12,000 to show, $12,000 to win. A league a fraction of the UFC's size just guaranteed its rookies more security in one negotiation than the UFC has handed its prelim fighters in its entire existence. The NBA hands its players half. The NFL hands its players half as well. The UFC hands its fighters a number so small it barely functions as a rounding error, and calls it an opportunity. In my opinion, that's an executive tip jar. And right now that tip jar is funding the most brilliant, most diabolical labor experiment in the history of professional sports. I call it the slaughterhouse economy. And once you see how it actually runs, you're never watching a prelim the same way again. Dana White never says this out loud on a broadcast. The Contender Series was never about finding the next champion. It's an assembly line, man. Its entire job is replacing $80,000 veterans with $12,000 kids who don't know better yet. $12,000 to show, $12,000 to win. Can you believe this, man? That's the floor of the biggest combat sports company on earth. And it's been the floor for damn near a decade while the company's revenue tripled underneath it. Lose and you make $12,000 gross. Before your coach is cut, before a camp, before the taxman gets his. Win and you double it to $24,000 and you're still taking home less than half of it. That's tier 1. Now watch what happens if you actually survive it. Climb the rankings, put in the years, and your number jumps. 50,000, maybe 150 if you're a real name on a real card. Congratulations, you made it. You're also on the clock though. Just ask Daniel Marcos. 5 wins, 1 loss. Finished his last fight by submission. Well, he won it clean. The UFC released him anyway, the same week as 3 other veterans, because a winning record was never actually what was keeping him employed. There's no job security in this sport, man. There's only a line of $12,000 berserkers waiting for your spot to open up. And then there's the top. I'm talking about the very peak of the sport. Champions are pulling guaranteed purses of $2 to $4 million a fight now. No PPV points and no risk. 12,000 at the bottom, 4 million at the top. Almost nothing in between to actually catch you on the way down. And now listen to this. WWE, the company that fakes its fights, just out-earned the UFC, the company that doesn't, in the first quarter of this year. 475 million to 401. The scripted violence is outselling the real thing. Dana White will go on a broadcast and call this taking care of fighters. Sure, man. The same way a slaughterhouse takes care of livestock. Just let all of this sink in. The house always wins. It's just a question of which floor they're grinding you up on.